Nathan stood in the center of the abandoned lab, his breath unsteady, his mind racing with endless questions. Before him stood the mysterious machine, its humming vibrations resonating through the air, like a heartbeat from another world. He knew this was it. No turning back now. He turned slowly to face his other self, the version of him that had already lived through this moment. His counterpart's expression was a mix of understanding and urgency. "I think it's time you finally know the whole truth, Nathan." The final revelation. Nathan hesitated but then nodded. He had come too far to stop now. His other self sighed, stepping closer. This machine, it wasn't built to simply observe time. It was designed to rewrite it. Nathan frowned. Rewrite? You mean change the past? Not just the past, the other Nathan said. It allows for alternate versions of reality to exist simultaneously. Every time you activate it, you aren't just bending time. You're creating a new thread of existence. That's why you keep seeing different versions of yourself. Nathan's head swam with the weight of the information. But why? Who built it? And why do I feel like I've done this before? His other self's eyes darkened. Because you have done this before, Nathan. Many times. And every time you've failed to fix it. A cycle of endless mistakes. A shiver ran down Nathan's spine. What do you mean I've failed? The other Nathan turned to the control panel, his fingers hovering over the worn-out buttons. This machine was meant to be shut down permanently. But we never make it that far. Nathan felt a cold dread settle in his chest. How many times? The other Nathan exhaled. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Every time you discover the truth, something happens. You hesitate, or you don't believe it, or something stops you. And the cycle resets. A new Nathan, a new timeline, and another failed attempt. Nathan clenched his fists. Not this time. Breaking the cycle. The other Nathan studied him carefully, as if trying to determine whether this time would be different. Then you have to listen carefully. This machine has a fail-safe, a way to collapse all the alternate timelines into one, our original reality. But it's dangerous. Once we trigger it, only one version of reality will remain. The rest will be erased. Nathan swallowed hard. And what happens to you? His counterpart smiled sadly. I'm just another branch of your choices? When this ends, only the real Nathan will be left standing. Nathan's chest tightened. This wasn't just about fixing time. It was about erasing the countless versions of himself that had come before. The ones that had tried and failed. Tell me what I need to do, he said firmly. The final choice. His counterpart gestured toward the control panel. There's a sequence. It has to be entered manually, but there's a catch. The moment we activate it, the machine will resist. It was never meant to be shut down completely. Nathan nodded. Then we do it together. They moved in sync, typing in the complex sequence of commands. The machine roared to life, its gears screeching in protest. Lights flickered wildly, and the entire room seemed to warp and distort. A sharp pain shot through Nathan's skull. His vision blurred, and for a moment, he saw glimpses of all the other versions of himself. Hundreds, thousands, all living different realities, all trapped in the same endless loop. The machine let out a final deafening pulse of energy. Nathan collapsed to the ground. The aftermath, when he opened his eyes, the lab was silent. The machine stood still, dark and lifeless. No hum, no movement, just stillness. He looked around. His counterpart was gone. Nathan exhaled, his breath shaky. For the first time, he felt alone. not in the terrifying way he had before, but in a way that told him this was reality. The only reality. It was over. The loop was broken. As he stepped outside into the fresh night air, a strange sense of peace settled over him. He didn't know what came next, but for the first time in what felt like eternity, Nathan was finally free